Good morning. I'm recording this at morning. I don't know when you're watching it. Today is the Feast of the Ascension, and greetings from 2194 Lower Baseline. I don't know if you can hear the birds chirping, but it's a beautiful morning. And as I was out here praying, something moved me. The Holy Spirit moved me, so I wanted to share something. Last year we were doing these weekly reflections after his own heart, and so I wanted to record a reflection for that. And the basic message is, I want to encourage you to reflect on your Jerusalem. Ask the Lord about your Jerusalem, and I'll explain what that means. So today is the Feast of the Ascension, and in the Acts of the Apostles that we read, Jesus he's about to send his disciples out to the world. He lifts up into heaven, and as Jesus, who is God, is going into heaven, our human nature also punctures heaven again. So what was closed from Adam's fall is now opened by Jesus, the new Adam. Our human nature now can make it up into heaven. Sorry, that was a parenthesis. So Jesus is about to go up into heaven, and he's about to send his apostles out, but then he says, stay in Jerusalem. Stay in Jerusalem until you receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. So I feel that these last 15 months have been kind of this week between the Ascension and Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit comes and they're sent out into the world. Because we have this experience of Christ that makes us want to go out to the world, but we've been stuck in Jerusalem for 15 months. And throughout this year, we've been meditating on what it means to be a Regnum Christi member, to build the kingdom of Christ, and do that by making present the mystery of Christ, the apostle, who goes out, reveals the love of his heart, gathers forms, and then sends out and accompanies. And we want to do that. That experience that we have of Christ impels us. Like St. Paul says, Caritas Christi urget nos. It sends us out. It urges us forward. And the other day I was reading one of the numbers from our statutes. I think it's number 10. It says this love of Christ, this Caritas Christi urget nos, that urges us, that impels us, leads us to a certain lifestyle, a certain way of living that's marked by magnanimous generosity, just a big heart that's open, that's outward, that's adventurous, that is responding to the needs of people, that goes out and responds to the needs of the world and the needs of the church. And I think that's what we all long to do, but we haven't been able to. Or we feel like we haven't been able to. But then the first number, the first part, it says that this love of Christ also leads us to adapt a lifestyle that's marked by an awareness that our life is one of spiritual fight, spiritual combat. So another parenthesis, living in community life here, when you have 3 grown men in the kitchen at the same time, all trying to get something to eat, sometimes that gets dramatic. And so oftentimes Father Pierre has this phrase, when something starts burning, or when we drop something and it breaks, or we're all trying to get to the silverware drawer at the same time, Father Pierre says, you know what I think this is? Spiritual fight. So that puts us all on a different level. So Jesus tells us to stay in Jerusalem. And what has that Jerusalem been for me, for you? On the one hand, I think it's taught me to appreciate more my community, to live community life better, or maybe more than actually teaching me to live community life better, it's taught me what I need to do better, what I need to work on. And I'm sure something similar has happened in your families. It's also taught me a little bit to take more time to pray. I can't say that in this like last 15 months, I've actually taken more time to pray. I have some, but it's definitely helped me realize that my priesthood is still worth it, like still has value, even if I'm not able to do priestly things. And I hope also that God has been able to affirm you in your vocation simply as sons and daughters, even if you're not able to do something. Your vocation as God's sons and daughters, and the value that you have in that, and how precious you are in God's eyes, just for that. It's also, I mean, there's probably lots of other gifts. A year ago, I got a surprise gift in the mail. It was a harmonica. And a year ago, I would have thought, oh, you know, this musical aspect of my life is kind of a waste of time. I'm supposed to be saving souls. But that's important. So I've learned how to play the harmonica during my Jerusalem time. Because this Jerusalem time is what sends us out. I know one of the, as we were reflecting on the 6 verbs, one of the feedback inputs that came several times was, this is a time of mending our nets so that we're ready to go out again when at last it's time. And so I think Jerusalem is a time of that, of mending our nets. This time that we're living right now is a time to mend our nets, prepare ourselves, grow in this desire to do something, and also continue our formation so that we're more ready to go out. But also, Jesus is sending us out. The gospel today, from the last few verses of Mark, Jesus says, go out to all the world and baptize. And so he is sending us out. On the one hand, he's telling us to stay in Jerusalem. On the other hand, he's also sending us out. Even while we're in Jerusalem, he's asking us to go out. And I think that has led to lots of creative apostolates that are going on, this missionary families, where basically without leaving your home, we can do lots of apostolates and help lots of people. There's lots of online initiatives. But also, like, ask our Lord, what is he asking you? And maybe it's just building community in Jerusalem. The apostles who stayed together in the upper room with Mary, with the other disciples. That communion was itself important for mission, because that communion is missionary. And so, is there somebody that we should reach out to in my team or in somebody else's team, or an old friend, Regnum Christi member or not? Reach out to Father Pierre and Father Louis, see how they're doing. What is the Lord asking me to do in my Jerusalem? Because my Jerusalem it's missionary, and it's also where I launch for my mission. I guess another parenthesis, pray for peace in Jerusalem and Palestine, close parenthesis. So what is your Jerusalem? Reflect on this, what has been my Jerusalem, this time when Jesus is telling me to stay and wait for the Holy Spirit? And where is he asking me to go? It's from communion that he sends me out. So let's be agents of communion, so that we can better be instruments of the Holy Spirit to build the kingdom of Christ. God bless you.